So without further ado, let me first welcome our co-host, because today isn't just about the Exchange Lab, it's about M&M Global, who are our co-hosts for this event. And I'm very glad to say that we've got Jeremy King, who is the MD of C Squared, and he's responsible for the editorial and commercial direction of M&M Global as well as my co-host. And he's going to be leading the first session, which is our publisher panel, which Jeremy will introduce in a second. But before he gets to that, he's just going to give his view of where the industry is today and some of the things that are on people's minds. And then after that, he'll introduce the publisher panel, and we should have a good first session. So over to you, Jeremy.
Thank you very much, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all. I'm going to attempt to do this with a broken fingers from football, so excuse me if I drop this. Might make my presentation more entertaining as we go along. But yes, thank you for the introduction. I want to give over the year, obviously from a publications point of view, we're writing about the industry constantly all year round, so the content team see a lot of trends and a lot of insights into what is happening globally in the media space. And then we also do the Festival of Media. So what I've done is pulled out I suppose if you like, 5 or 6 of the key trends. I intend to do this in 5 minutes. I've got some great pictures to entertain you with, a little bit of text as well. Sorry, wrong way there. Here we go. So these are some of the key trends that we've noticed. So I just thought we'd start, as most of you in the room, in fact, all of you are brand. So this is something that was really nice, which was said by the global marketing guru for Twitter. So she's kind of talking about the role of the marketeer has changed. So I figured this puts us in a great position. So 20 years ago, marketing was really about persuasion. We were looking for that amazing emotional idea that would persuade people to our brand. That's not true today. Participation is a new persuasion. So she's talking about getting consumers to get involved and be part of the marketing message, that kind of user-generated content feel, that really getting to know what a consumer wants by what they're actually telling you. And you've now got the ability across various platforms to listen to them, whether it be data, whether it be social. So the media landscape, as you all know, is continually evolving. So how is the industry keeping up? We're all desperate to keep up with that ever-evolving consumer. So these are kind of some of the key trends that have come out in 2015. I'm sure you are familiar with a lot of these. So we're going to quickly whiz through, and there's a couple of quotes around a couple of things, just to get you thinking and kind of set the contextual scene, if you like, for the rest of the day. So ad blocking, here we go. It's like a call to arms for the industry. I know people look at it as a negative thing, but actually, if you really think deeply about it, what does ad blocking really say? It's saying that. Testing my fingers here. It's saying that there's a challenge to the industry. So it's saying our ads that we're delivering to people aren't quite good enough. Consumers aren't enjoying them. So what does that tell us? It says potentially that the content we're producing isn't great. So how do we make it better? We use data, we use programmatic, we use that space, and we actually create content, ad content that people want. Then people won't block it. So just to kind of put you into a context, at the moment, there's 198 million consumers who are using ad blocking software. So we have some work to do. We really genuinely do. But I see this as such a great opportunity for the industry. Rather than it being a negative thing, it's actually very positive. It's a great opportunity for us to get things right and understand what our consumers want. And there is really no excuse with all the data we've got, marrying that data with creativity and really understanding what people want, which is those kind of hyper-personalised messaging. What we don't want to become is the blockbuster. Blockbuster left it too late as an industry and as a retail unit, and were destroyed by the online space. Before they got there, all their shops had shut down. So we certainly don't want to become the new blockbuster. So the opportunity there is for us to go huge. So programmatic, what's happening in the programmatic space? Again, it's still a huge player and it's becoming a big trend. This year has been growth again. If you look at some of the stats around programmatic, you will notice, I've got this one written down for us here, 71% increase in the use of programmatic globally over the last 12 months, which is a huge impression. Nestle, a brand that are using programmatic now, in 2014, none of their digital spend was via programmatic. This year, 80% of it has been via programmatic, which tells you the impact that it's having. Their reasoning is, actually, they want to become as personal as they possibly can with their consumers, so their consumers are there. Programmatic and television is starting to take off. Programmatic and mobile, we're actually starting to see people understanding data and understanding creativity and creating amazing digital campaigns. Okay, measurements. I couldn't find a picture of Bonanza or the High Chaparral, for those of you as old as me who can remember that. But at the moment, measurement is another opportunity for us. It's a little bit like the Wild West. However, we're starting to move there. And as soon as we start to create some standard and industry measurements, we can really take it to the next level. It's a great opportunity for us again. To the new marketeer. So what does this new marketeer look like? Are they the traditional marketeers? Are you guys all from a traditional marketing background? Or when you're looking to add to your teams now in this new world and this new landscape, are you looking for those guys that were engineers originally? Is there such a thing as the CMO in 4 years' time? Will that exist? Will they become a CDO? Will it become a chief technology officer? Where will that role be? It's really changing now. Not only do you need to know the marketing principles, you need to know your data, you need to know your science, and you need to bring that together to understand where your consumer is. Influencers. One of the key things is for brands to understand how to use this phenomenon of influencers. We hosted an event with some of the key influencers from Latin America, and literally within them being on the stage within 2 minutes, it was trending worldwide, the hashtag for the event, just showing you the power they've got. Interestingly, they're open to working with brands. They really are. I know that some brands are kind of a bit hesitant to use them. How do you create scale with influencers? How do you really deliver ROI? But there's definitely an opportunity to understand what they do. They're open to ideas. They obviously just don't want to create a video and then mention a brand 500 times, but they do want to do clever, creative campaigns that really immerse themselves. You know, you'll be surprised. These influencers all use brands, and brands they like and love. They're more than happy to get involved and work around campaigns for those. Content, obviously a buzzword. I find it remarkable that having been a journalist for 18 years, that people are suddenly talking about content being an impressive tool of campaigns. Who would have thought, hey, that content would be part of campaigns? But you know, producing that content, we talked about ad blocking and we've talked about creating wonderful content. This is our opportunity to create content that resonates, that engages. And over the last year, we've seen a considerable rise in the number of people and the number of brands that really start to think about how their content works, how they engage, what works for their consumers, what their consumers want, and that's going to continue to grow. And mobile, of course. Every year since I think I started on Editor and Media Week in 2004, and I think every year since then, so where are we now, 2015, 11 years, it's been the year of mobile. We do have some fantastic stats globally around mobile. If you look at the various countries and the number of people that are using their mobile phones to access content, to access television, to access video, it is phenomenal. Yet somehow as an industry, we're still not taking full advantage of mobile. But this year we've really seen some great breakthroughs and some companies that are doing mobile-only campaigns. Virgin Mobile is a great example. In the Emirates, for the first time ever, they launched a mobile-only campaign across Saudi Arabia, and the results were phenomenal for those guys. So mobile's really started to go. And look at this, I'm almost there with 1 minute and one slide to go. So quickly looking into a crystal ball, where I wouldn't have broken my finger and I could hold two things, we would have the trends for 2016. Talent is going to be key, so making sure you have the right talent, the talent that can do the right things at the right time and to the right people. The rise of augmented reality as a change in the way people are behaving and the way they consume things. So bringing things to life, actually. It's great talking to people in a digital space, but what if you could amplify that digital space to almost the augmented reality side? And the same with AI. And again, transparency is a key thing for us, making sure that everyone knows what we're doing, how we're doing it, and when we're doing it. So that is a very swift 5-minute snapshot of where we were 2015 and where we're going to be 2016. You can keep this slide and remember it, and come and complain on M&M Global if none of these things come true, but I think they will be there. I've played a little safe. So, well, that's enough talking from me. So time is up.